Good day and welcome to Conversations with AARP in the Virgin Islands. I'm Troy Deshabert-Schuster, State Director of AARP in this territory, and it's a pleasure to have this conversation with you today. AARP is a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization committed to the LGBTQ community. At the core of our advocacy work is the belief in the dignity, worth, and potential of every individual, regardless of age, race, gender, sexual orientation, or gender identity. Our policy work at the community, state, and national levels serves all communities, and we stand proud to support our LGBTQ plus members, allies, and other critical stakeholders. With a large number of our 38 million members self-identifying as LGBTQ+, AARP works hard to fight for and equip individuals to live their best lives. What we do for all, is a guiding principle articulated by our founder, Dr. Ethel Percy Andrus. And today we proudly carry it forward by helping to build an understanding of the LGBTQ+ community during Pride Month and beyond. Today's edition of In Conversation with AARP-VI is designed to raise awareness of the unique challenges faced by the LGBTQ+ community living in the Virgin Islands, and to start a discussion about the things we all can do to be more understanding and accepting of this community. Today, I'm joined by Bob Palmatier, and Bob is the founder and president of St. Croix Pride Incorporated, and Muria Nisbett. And Muria is a clinical social worker and ally of the LGBTQ+ community on St. Thomas. Welcome, Bob and Muria.
Hi.
Hi, glad to be with you.
Yeah, thanks for joining me today, and we look forward to having this open and candid conversation. So first of all, Bob, tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how you landed on St. Croix, and a little bit about the beginnings of St. Croix Pride Incorporated.
Well, I'm a sort of retired educator. I spent about 50 years in education doing everything from teaching middle school to public school administration to college president to university professor, and you name it. If it can be done in education, I probably did it. And I retired a few times, and one of those times I happened to be looking for a vacation place, and St. Croix came across my radar totally by accident. And it was the best accident of my life, actually, because came here over Christmas holiday, fell in love with the island, and went home talking about how we could live here, and came back 6 months later to explore that further, and made the mistake of putting a contract on a house, and that started the movement in this direction. And by the time the house closed, I was so perturbed with the people I was working for, I was ready to move immediately, and gave them 2 weeks notice, and here we are after 8 years in the Virgin Islands. Sorry, the frog is in my throat today. When I got to St. Croix, I had worked with various pride organizations. I was the chairperson of Equality Alabama and the state of Alabama, and I had been late in life coming out, so I kind of learned a little bit about being gay and out in the world. But when I came here, it was just like no knowledge at all, but there were a lot of gay people around and a lot of allies, and so we decided to have a yard party during Pride Month, and that yard party was in 2014, and we ended up making an annual thing. And 2017, St. Croix Pride was actually incorporated and became a 501c3 charity, and Until COVID, we were rocking along, but COVID's kind of knocked us out for the year. But we're ready to start back toward a big 2022.
Great, excellent. And Maria, tell us about yourself. Are you a Virgin Islander? If not, where are you from? And what has you on St. Thomas?
Yes, I am a Virgin Islander, born and raised. I left in '99 after high school, been gone for 21 years, just got back a year ago. So now I'm back here as a social worker on the island.
Great. And what social work do you do? Like which agency do you work in?
Oh, I'm a readjustment counselor for the Vet Center, which is part of the VA. I just focus on the mental health aspect, helping veterans to readjust from military life back into civilian life.
Great. And so you're an ally of the LGBTQ community.
Yes,
So
ally
right, so you're not a member of the LGBTQ community,
and
but
member.
and member. Oh, okay, both. Okay. Oh, great. Okay. Didn't know you could be both. I guess I'm both too.
Yes, yes.
And
we all,
right. Ally and member, right. And so, and I understand that you're getting ready to start a PFLAG group on St. Thomas. Tell us a little bit about PFLAG. What does it stand for, and what is it all about? What does it do?
Yes, PFLAG, it's PFLAG, and it stands for Parents and Families of Lesbians and Gays. So it's the first and largest organization for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and their family members and allies. So it basically provides support just not for the LGBT population, but their family members as well, because they're part of the process. For sometimes they feel like they're not supported. I don't know what to say. If my son or daughter tells me, they're gay or lesbian, what do I do? Who do I turn to? And so they have their own things that they have to go through, the family members. So it's providing support for them so they feel like they're a part of this. They're a part of something. They have somebody they can turn to, like, what do I say in this situation? What do I do in this situation? How much is too much? How much is not enough? All the questions that come up, all the feelings that they have, it provides support for that.
Fantastic. And that is so very much needed here. And
Yes.
so there are many, as we know, there are many, many misconceptions of the LGBTQ plus community, even the acronym itself, because then Q was added and then plus was added. Can either one of you, maybe both of you, could speak to that? What does that acronym LGBTQ plus stand for, and especially the plus part of it? Maria?
Right. Yes, I
Maria,
can take it.
first. Yes.
Okay. So I know we keep adding acronyms, which adds to the complexity and the misunderstanding of, the community. But L stands for lesbian, B for bisexual, T for transgender or transsexual, Q is for queer. The plus is because there's actually other things beyond that. So it used to be at one point LGBTQIA, so I for intersex, A for asexual, but then they added the plus because the allies are members too, and pansexuals, and there's just a lot of different ways that people categorize themselves. So that we are not being exclusive, we're including everybody. So there's a lot of acronyms to remember, and nobody expects anybody to know what they all mean, what they all are. What if I say the wrong thing? What if I say the wrong one? What if I don't understand? It's okay to ask, because people are usually okay with telling you this is what it means, or this is what it means for me. So you don't have to feel like I need to Google this before I have a conversation, or I need to get this correct before I say something. The information is there. Usually people, members of the LGBTQ plus population, are open to talking about it and explaining which letter they fall into and what it means.
Excellent. Bob, anything to add to that?
well, just that it's not even necessary for people to identify their letter, because a lot of people don't fall cleanly in one category. So it's just being part of the community. It doesn't matter what your letter is, or if you can even define it. And many people come into the community with absolutely unclear ideas about who they are, what they are, and why they are. So it's, and I certainly can tell you that was my experience. So it took me a while to get into where I understood I was a gay man, and that my marriages to women was not where I belonged, but I tried it twice. So anyway, Maria did a good job of explaining.
Yes, and you're right, Bob. It's not that you have to identify anything or say who you are, because like you said, even within the community, there's even some confusion there. So
Right. Maybe a lot of confusion there.
A lot, and I'm so glad to hear about the plus in the end, because it includes allies, friends,
exactly.
you know, and so it really is all inclusive. LGBTQ plus, it embraces everybody.
Yes.
And that's a marvelous thing, because in this world, you know, we are confronted by so much racism and prejudice of all sorts, and we need more and more organizations to be all inclusive.
Yes. Yes.
And so, starting with Bob, how is your organization, St. Croix Pride, working to combat the stigma associated with being gay in the Virgin Islands?
Well, mainly by not acknowledging that there is a stigma, because we're just people like everybody else, and our approach has been to have activities that support. So we do everything from support training to young people to become trained to run their own organizations, to providing scholarships to students who need help with getting into a school environment that is supportive and open for them, to providing our slogan is to educate, advocate, and celebrate. And so we really, the education part is mainly we're just here, and we're part of the total, and we don't want anything special. We just want to be allowed to be part of the community, and we advocate for that, and we want to celebrate that fact and enjoy allies. And one of the things that Muria brought up with PFLAG is PFLAG has been a very important organization for parents who didn't understand what their children were going through. And so it's been a resource, and it's a resource we need desperately here. And I really want to do everything we can to help her in the quest to get a territory-wide organization going for PFLAG.
Excellent. And Muria, tell us more about what PFLAG does in communities, and what you hope it will do in the community here to combat stigmas and bring more understanding and compassion.
Yes. So like I said, we haven't started yet, but the goal would be, when it comes here, is to have a place for family members, friends, allies, members of the LGBT community just coming out, to be able to go and say, I know I can talk to somebody who understands, who cares, who sees me as a person, and is willing to sit and listen to me. Oftentimes when family members don't feel like they're supported, and they're hit with something that they weren't expecting, it's like they don't know what to say, they don't know what to do. They usually take it on themselves. I did something wrong. If only if I did this differently. What do I need to do? Who do I call? And if they're feeling shame around that, they're not going to call their friends. They're not going to call their family, because they might feel like they're also going to agree that the parent did something wrong, the family member did something wrong. If I had only done something different, or if my son didn't have so many sisters and I made him play with dolls, maybe he would. Just so many things that go through their head, and it creates now psychological distress for them in a situation that shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't go that way. It should be a supportive environment. But I can't expect them to do that if they don't know how to do that. They've never got support around that. So PFLAG is just wanting to be a soft landing place, a place where they feel safe, where they feel comfortable, knowing that not only do I get support, I can also provide support to other people that are going through this. And I think it would create some education for the community as well, because right now our community, I feel like they have one way of thinking about the LGBT community. I know that it's changing a little bit, but there's a mindset around that. You know, they look at people and like, oh, that's wrong. And they have so many thoughts about it, but they're not seeing the person as a whole person. It's like, okay, I'm a queer person, but that's not who I am. That's just how I date. You know, I'm a social worker. That's not who I am. That's just where I work. I'm a mother. That just means I have a daughter. So instead of having to put my whole life in a box based on this one thing, just educating the community about, okay, let's look at the person. Let's approach them with love, treat them with compassion and empathy like you would do anybody else, and starting there. And then everything else should be different after that. The conversations will be different. And the awareness in the community would be different. The acceptance would be different. So we have to do community-wide education. And I think with PFLAG, we can also think about partnering with other organizations on the island that have maybe a bigger platform than us, a louder voice, you know, even some of our faith-based communities, and saying like, hey, we're here to support you and you can support us. Not saying that you have to change your views or change how you believe, but just let's just love each other. You know, let's just start there with the basics. So I want PFLAG to be the starting point for that, those conversations to start happening.
That's so important, and I like the way you bring up the word love, right? I mean, especially if you're Christian, and you know the greatest commandment to love your neighbor as you love
Yes,
yourself,
exactly.
right? And to love God with your whole heart, of course, before that. But the second of the two greatest commandments, to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And if we really, 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 truly loved our neighbor, we would love our neighbor in their totality, right?
Exactly.
And we would embrace our neighbor. We would always want to do good for our neighbor. We'd always want our neighbor to feel loved and to feel included, to feel accepted. And so if we're not doing that, then it's not love. It's a type of hatred.
It's hatred, and our community can't grow and flourish and become the best version if we're leading with hate. It just wouldn't be good. So just spreading love and letting them know that we're ready to receive love, like just starting with the love of the person.
You know, and even on a natural or psychological level, aside from the spiritual or theological, love is one of the most fundamental needs of humans. I mean, when we look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the great psychologist Ernest Maslow, you know, I mean, it's right above that most fundamental need to maintain homeostasis and nutrition and hydration and so forth. But then next comes that need to be loved, you know, and to love. So very fundamental. Bob, were you going to add something to that?
Well, I think Maria's right on. I want her to join the Pride Board, and we'll let's take this thing territory wide. And you know, I really think that my experience has been that we are people first, and if we're going to understand, or those people who aren't part of our community or even are new to our community don't understand, what they need to do is relax and get to know people. And once you do it on a personal basis, and you get to know somebody, and oh yeah, they are gay, but you know, they're my neighbor. They're a good person. They do this, they do that, and it's like Maria said, none of us are what we do for a job or our education or any of those things. They're all just a part of who we are as an individual. And if we can all relax and just get to know each other as individuals, all of those labels end up meaning so far less.
Exactly. I'm often reminded of that old song. Was it from the 60s or 70s? Somewhere way back there. What the world needs now is love, sweet love.
Sweet love. Yes. And that's so true now more than ever. So
true, absolutely.
Sure. Now, June, nationally, June is designated as LGBTQ plus Pride Month. And it has been commemorated here on St. Croix and on St. Thomas in various ways. So Bob, starting with you, why do you think it's important for us to commemorate Pride Month?
I think it's important so that people know we're here. That's part of the advocacy thing and the part of the celebration as well. But more important, it's to give the community a sense of belonging and an opportunity to share themselves with others. And so we invite our allies to join us. And here on St. Croix, we've had a tremendous support. We've had over 40 sponsors, business sponsors, who have bought on to our activities and have helped us provide the scholarships and the activities support. AARP has been an important one of those. And, you know, we were able to bring a dance troupe in with AARP's help from Toronto. And their program had roots in Jamaica. And so it was a very Caribbean activity, yet we had to go to Toronto to get a group of people who could perform the story from Jamaica and the Caribbean. And I think, you know, a lot of people were helped by seeing that that's not just a local narrative or a local concern, it's a worldwide concern. And so, you know, Pride celebration is really, to go back, June started with the Stonewall riots is where it came from, and that was in June. And it was kind of unbelievable, but the Supreme Court, when they approved gay marriage, approved it during Pride Month on the anniversary of the Stonewall riots. So, you know, we're not the only ones aware of the history there. And I think that's the same thing. All cultures and groups need to have a way of celebrating themselves and sharing themselves with others. And that's what I see Pride as.
Thank you. And before I jump to Muria about their commemoration of Pride on St. Thomas, I just wanted to say to both of you and to the public that it's such an honor for me to work for AARP. We're such an inclusive organization. The first year you had the Pride Parade in St. Croix, and AARP sponsored, and I put a letter to the editor and the papers. I came under attack from just a couple of our local members saying, oh, you know, you better look out because AARP is going to fire you because you're supporting gay pride. But actually, AARP is a major sponsor of LGBTQ pride events all over the country. And AARP is a very inclusive organization. As a matter of fact, just recently they developed a whole diversity, equity, and inclusion department within the company. We have over 3,000 employees. And our CEO founded a diversity, equity, and inclusion council and chose just about 63 of us out of the over 3,000 employees to be on this council. And I'm one of those council members. I'm very honored to have been selected by the CEO. And, you know, we're inclusive of everybody, regardless of race, national origin, sexual orientation, gender identity, all of that. And so we're always very, very happy to continue to support the LGBTQ plus movement here in the Virgin Islands. So Muria, over to you now. Tell us about your commemoration of Gay Pride and what you have coming up in the very near future on St. Thomas.
Yes, in the very near future, just in a few days. So this is going to be, to my knowledge, the first Pride Walk here in St. Thomas this coming weekend, which is July 10th. It's just a 2-mile walk. We're going to have members of the LGBTQ community, our allies, some of our, you know, local politicians are supposed to be joining us, and business owners will be joining us. And we're just going to be walking from Emancipation Garden down to Havenside and back. Just a quick 2 miles, but visibility is important. Knowing that we're here, we're part of the community, and having us be out there and just say, we're here. And it's okay that we can celebrate being here. We can celebrate being us. And our allies come and celebrate with us. People in the community celebrate with us to say, we see that you're here and we can join you. It's okay. We can coexist together. So it's just going to be a show that we're here and it's okay for us to be here. So come and celebrate with us. I'm really excited because I think this is the first one. And it's just something I just thought up in my head because I didn't see anything happening on the island on a large scale. And I know COVID might have something to do with that, but I didn't want us to have just events that are secret events, like in this corner, in this place where we're hidden, because that just perpetuates the stigma that we need to hide. So I was like, no, let's just go out on the waterfront and just walk and celebrate with everybody who wants to come out and celebrate with us.
And tell us the details again of where and when it
Yes.
starts and so forth.
Saturday, July 10th, we're meeting at 7 a.m. at Emancipation Garden. And we're going to walk together down to Haven Site. It's just a 1 mile walk down and turn around, and then we're going to walk back. So 7 a.m. Haven Site, July 10th.
Okay, we're starting at Emancipation Gardens and then
Garden at
walking.
Emancipation Garden. Yes.
That's right. Okay,
Yes.
so we encourage people in St. Thomas and even St. John to come out and support. And you know, it's such again an honor to support you as you start up PFLAG on St. Thomas and across the Virgin Islands. So AARP will be at your side during all of that development. We're happy to be part of that.
Thank you.
And so now, Bob, about St. Croix Pride, how can people find more information about it? Do you have a Facebook page or a web page?
Yes, just Google St. Croix Pride and you'll get to it, but it's STX Pride, stx.pride.org.
Great.
And you can find us that way. We're on Facebook as well. And we're getting ready to redo our website and get things back up and running because COVID has put us down a long time. But that's a source that's amazed me how many people contact us through that. People coming to the territory who want to know about, is it safe to come there? I'm gay. And, you know, people who are moving here and want to know what services are available and things of that sort. So I'm glad to have connection with Muria because she can help me because I get those requests about St. Thomas, and in the past I've been totally ignorant of what to tell them. So now I have somebody to refer them to.
Great. And we're almost out of time, but Muria, I know you are early in the development of PFLAG. Do you have a web page yet or a Facebook page?
No, we don't have a web page yet. So, but it will be pending, coming soon. I will let you guys know as soon as we're ready to go. Yes.
Great.
And then one thing that we wanted to add too, because once we get the website up and going, I wanted to keep like a database or some kind of informational Rolodex, for lack of a better word, of all the organizations on the island in the territory that are LGBT friendly, or maybe some therapists that are LGBT friendly, and have that cultural competency training, doctors, physicians, just so that people from the community feel safe going to get help, whether it's physical help, mental help. So anybody that fits that criteria, can reach out to me.
Great. Well, we look forward to receiving that information and walking with you on this journey. We're out of time now, so thank you, Bob Palmatier of St. Croix Pride, and Muria Nisbett, our social worker on St. Thomas, getting ready to start up PFLAG. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good day.